how the name of our country actually came about. Let's just give you some perspective about India and Bharat. The date, September 18th, 1949, and as you heard Paulavi saying, that has become a trigger as well because the special session of Parliament also begins on September the 18th. That is September 18th, 1949 is when the Constituent Assembly deliberated upon the Namkaran of India, the naming of India, which was freshly independent. Suggestions at that time had included Bharat, Hindustan, Hind, Bharat Bhumi, Bharat Varsh and Bharat. The Constituent Assembly resolved that Article 1, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. So it was September the 18th, 1949 that the name India, that is Bharat, was enshrined in our constitution. In our constitution. Your obvious next question will be, what happened in the Constituent Assembly? The process by which India and Bharat became our official names. The first article was read out as, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states, like I just said. Hari Vishnu Kamath of the Forward Bloc, politician of that time, suggested Bharat, or in the English language, India, shall be such and such. That was the line that was proposed by him. Seth Govindas, representing the central provinces, and Berar proposed Bharat, known as India also in foreign countries. Very interesting. Hargovind Pant, well-known politician representing the United Provinces, said, as far as India is concerned, this name was given to our country by foreigners. If we cling to the word India, it would only show that we are not ashamed of having this insulting word which has been imposed on us by alien rulers. This was the Constituent Assembly of the time, and as you can see, this was a fledgling democracy with vibrant, noisy voices making angry opinions felt. At the end of the day, what was decided? India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Now, I want to flash forward now. I've taken you in a flashback to 1949. Now I want to bring you to 2016 because India and Bharat did come up in India's top court, the Supreme Court. In 2016, Bharat or India. Here's what the Supreme Court had said. You want to call it Bharat? Go right ahead. Someone wants to call it India? Let them call it India, said Justice Thakur of the Supreme Court. In 2020, the Supreme Court said, Bharat and India are both names given in the Constitution. India is already called Bharat in the Constitution. At that time, the Chief Justice of India was S.A. Bobde. So, the Supreme Court on 2016 and 2020, both times said, India and Bharat can both be used. Use whatever you want because they're both literally in the Constitution. Now, final question, and this is something that a lot of people have reached out to me asking, which is that, do I need to be prepared as a citizen? Do I need to gird my loins and, wonder whether a decision to either rename or something like that is going to upturn my life? Is my life going to turn upside down? Will I need to re-register for new documents? Will I have to, expect a completely new set of identification cards, etc., etc., in keeping with the change of a country's name? So a lot of people are anxious about this, and I want to get one answer from both our reporters on that. Paulavi, to you first. It may be a little early. We don't know what's going to happen in Parliament. The 18th September angle does provide quite a trigger point for many, especially after we've mentioned it today. But most people are wondering, is this going to affect my life? Is this going to turn my life upside down if the name of the country changes? What about my passport? What about my IDs? What about my bank account, etc., etc.? Is there any wisdom or light you can throw on that, Paulavi?
Well, if this means that documentation has to be changed, like, for instance, passport gets changed, etc., then obviously it's going to throw life a little off gear because you'll have to go ahead and make that change. But I don't think so. The government, of course, is planning to, upend everyone's lives at the moment. The government is only merely, saying that this is what needs to be said in the Constitution. We need to ensure that, people refer to themselves as Bharat because we need to be proud of who our ancestors called us. us and not about, whether outsiders called us one or the other. And that is what the government wants to focus on. And at the moment, it is an idea which they've mooted in small ways. For instance, they're hosting the top 20 leaders of the world at the G20 Leaders Summit this weekend at the Bharat Mandapam. The government is very clear that they want to send out a message that we're extremely proud of our legacy and our history, and we refer to ourselves as Bharat. How far they're going to take this is only something which will, of course, take place quite literally on paper over a period of time. Nothing that's going to throw your life out of gear immediately.
Okay, that's good to hear. So I'm going to leave it at that. Mosmi and Poulomi, appreciate it. Thanks for joining me on this live show to help answer those questions, bust some of those myths. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of misinformation and fake news doing the rounds as well. Very, very useful. And I'll be sure that a copy of this show goes into all the WhatsApp groups today where people have been asking the very same questions that you both have so kindly and brilliantly answered. Thank you very much to Poulomi and Mosmi.